Hi, I'm Vic Bearcroft, and today I'm going to show you how to draw a howling wolf using simple shapes and materials that you probably have lying around at home, such as a 2B pencil, a piece of sketching paper, an eraser and some paper towel. Uh, the simple shapes are going to be such as paper cup, circles, triangles and so on. So let's begin by getting the nose and the muzzle as a whole, really. Starting at the high point, if his head is facing up that way, then that's the tip of the nose. So that's the bottom of your paper cup. And then the paper cup obviously widens out towards the bit where you drink out of. So it's lying at an angle like that. That will be the muzzle, and the head is going to be a simple circle. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle because you can actually erase lines that you don't want later on. So the ear, usually laid flat when the wolf is howling at the moon perhaps, and a larger paper cup for his neck and throat area. So that will be that sort of shape. Okay, so already you can see that the simple shapes are creating the basic shape of the howling wolf. This is the great and simple way to get your proportions correct. Of course, if you want to make little adjustments at this point, you can. You can enlarge the circle and make the paper cup smaller, longer, whatever you want to do. So let's concentrate on the muzzle now. His mouth is going to be open, howling. This will be the inside of the mouth, and the other side of the mouth will be more or less a straight line down to the jawbone, which is there. So this will all be the inside of his mouth. The lower part of the jaw, his chin, will be a little square to start with. So a little square shape. Again, can be adjusted. So if you find it's too far out that side or too low down this side, you can make little adjustments as you work through quickly and easily without having to worry about changing the whole thing. So we'll work with that for now, and then what we want to do is gradually start to refine these shapes, make it a little bit more detailed and so on. Let's start at the tip of the nose, so we make that a little bit more rounded, and there's a line runs down, a little dimple runs down the centre of the nose to the cleft between the top lips. So we've got his nostril shape on the other side, very roughly at this point, nostril shape on this side, and then we'll continue down. So there's the cleft between the top and bottom lip. Now roughly this area is where his top teeth are. They're always shielded by the lips drawn back over them when they're howling. So we can create that movement by simply curving the top lip around those underlying teeth, which we can't see at this stage. We only show the bottom teeth when the wolf is howling, and the other side of the mouth like so. That brings us down to the jawbone, which is here, and of course then we have his bottom lip. Usually a little curve like that will do. The teeth we can sketch in now, but we can detail them a little bit more later on. So the only teeth you'll see when the wolf is howling are these bottom two incisors. The rest are all hidden behind the lips. Now time to round off the chin a little bit. So all we do is round off the corners of our square and then bring that down into the throat, the neck. We can begin to suggest a sort of jagged texture of the neck, like so. And then we can move to the top of the nose. So the top of the nose is more or less a straight line, maybe a slight curve on it, going down to the head. Centre of the forehead will follow this part of the curve of the circle there, and then it kind of flattens out a little bit. So we can flatten that out down towards the ear, curve the edges, the corners of the ear a little bit around there, and we maybe just see a little bit of the eyebrow on the opposite side there too. The eyes are always sort of more or less slitted when the wolf's howling, usually kind of looking backwards, so that will fall in line with the line of the nose, the tear duct about there, and the eyelid almost closed like so. Okay, so the neck, back of the neck, We can indicate a little bit of fur like so, and then what we'll do before we do any more is just erase some of those lines that we don't want. So I've got a kneadable eraser here, but any eraser will do. Just gently take out all those lines from the circle, paper cut and so on that we don't need anymore. That will clean it up nicely. And then we can proceed to add a little bit more detail. So for this one, this particular demonstration, we're not going to do too much fur detail. We'll explore fur textures and other details in another tutorial. So what we want to make sure is we get the shapes right. We can have them almost silhouetted against the moon if we want to. So again, just refining these shapes a little bit more, bit by bit. So we can tidy things up. There's the shape of the nostril on the left. Round off the tip of the nose, going down to the bridge of the nose, and the nostril on the inside. A little sort of shape where you get the top of the nostril joining the tip of the nose there, and the lower part of the nose pad. You can shade that in. Don't forget, of course, that the nose pad itself, the fleshy part, is attached to the snout, the rest of the muzzle. So we want to attach that, or show that it's attached by having a little bit of shading coming down from there into the muzzle itself. Now what we can do with that is to softly blend that. You can either do it with your finger, but if your fingers are particularly greasy, just get a little bit of kitchen paper like that, scrunch it up into a kind of paper blender. Soften the shading like so. Okay. Again, refining the shape of the mouth. We've got the sort of furry edge of the lip on the far side. The inside of the mouth is just totally dark. We can't see any teeth or anything like that. So again, if we shade that, begin with a fairly reasonable tone. We can add more tone to it later on if we need to. So we don't need to go too dark too soon. Don't worry about shading over the teeth, because we can lift that shading out, make his teeth nice and white, and then just refine the shape of the lip and the chin, coming down into the throat. Of course you can stylize that furry edge if you want to. Or you can make it look a little bit more realistic. Again, something we'll look at in a tutorial follow-up to this one. So flatten out the head a little bit more, so it almost joins the ear in an almost straight line. The ear itself, of course, has a centre about here. Hairs growing in towards that centre shadow. So again, you can suggest those with a few lines. Again, a little bit of soft shading. Use your paper towel for that. And the eye, well, we've got an eyebrow on that side, so we need an eyebrow on this side. They're usually raised and quite often lighter in tone. So that sort of shape, and then we can shade around. If you imagine that this part below the eye is the cheekbone, that's the upper part of the eye socket, and anything under there that's going away from us will be shaded. So we can shade that, shade the bits in between. Anything that's lighter then will stand out. We'll shade all around here, down towards the ear. You can do flat shading at this point. We'll see, oh, only worried about underlying shapes and anatomy. Do a rub with your paper towel, and of course the wolf will have different shades of fur. Paler fur usually around the snout, darker fur elsewhere. They do vary, of course, but next one we want to put in the whisker follicles. 4 rows of whisker follicles. Now, like most canines, wolves don't have very thick or long whiskers like cats do, so we just need to suggest the little holes. We don't need to put the whiskers in. And then we can refine other shapes, so we can suggest slightly chunkier fur underneath the ear. The fur does get shorter towards the muzzle, longer towards the neck, especially when they're in full coat, and longer chunks of fur, thicker chunks of fur around here. Just suggest it with your pencil. Your pencil will show the texture, the shape, and so on. These lines really represent the shadows in the fur. And again, if you want to soften it, you can use your kitchen paper and shade it if you want a darker wolf. Neck fur in the throat is usually a little bit lighter, going down into the chest. And again, erase any lines we don't want, we don't need that now. Refine the teeth a little bit. Let's refine that shape. And again, what we'll do before we lift out any highlights in the teeth, we can just darken the inside of the mouth a little bit more. And other darker areas such as the nostrils. And of course, once you've got this basic shape, you can then go on to, if you just want to keep the basic shape, you go on to colour it, you can ink it, so you get an ink outline, or you can add more and more texture to it, which we'll show you how to do at a later stage. A few little flecks in the chin, showing scent glands, and then a tiny bit more shading. So here is where your wolf's teeth are, so this bit will be pretty much empty behind it. So we can shade that in, make this bit more rounded. Look at all that shading coming down here. A little bit of shading underneath the chin, a little bit darker around the lips. So the lips will have a little bit of texture. And then we'll have it darker, slightly darker fur underneath the ear. And inside the ear, so there's the base of the ear, so we'll shade the inside of the ear to make that a little bit darker. You're going to finish that off with your kitchen paper or paper towel to make it nice and soft. And then final details, so the eye, here's the tear duct of the eye, here's the eyelid at an angle, the eyeball itself, usually looking back. So the eyeball itself will be there. Make the nose coloured a little bit darker too. And again, soften it and finish that off as a simple outline drawing. What we can do is add a moon in the background. Now, I'm not very good at drawing perfect circles, so what I've got here is just a roll of masking tape. You can place that here somewhere and use that as a template to get your moon in the background. Okay, so let's call that one finished as a simple shape sketch. Thanks for watching. There'll be more basic drawing and in-depth tutorials coming soon. Do feel free to post your results of this and further ones on my Facebook page, which is shown on the screen now. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.